Hello there, and welcome back to War Thunder to a little bit of an emergency video. So first of all, there is no sound because I was on Discord and I couldn't separate the sound files properly, so I also didn't want to go to the replay and record that and use then this for some background commentary. Maybe some of you like it, so this is the first question. Do you like a gameplay without sound? In this case, it doesn't really matter since it is not RRB where you might hear a prop engine around you in clouds, or where you are in a tank and you hear a tank rolling up to you nearby, around the corner, behind you, in front of you, whatever. So ship RB sound is not really that important, except for the secondaries going off, warning you from planes or from PT boats that try to sneak up on you. So that's part number one. Sorry about the lack of sound. And part number two, sorry for my allergies, my stuffed nose. It is how it is. I'm probably the one that dislikes that the most. Trust me. I would love to be able to breathe in spring because of all the allergies, but it is how it is. And that now brings us to the topic of the video, which is As It Should Be. So the title of the video is As It Should Be. That might be a bit confusing, but yeah, that's the title. Why is that the title? Because it is about my experience in the HMNZS Leander, which you can observe gameplay of in the background. Point number one. Point number two, the battle itself, the battle experience is also how it should be. And point number three is how I spent my weekend. And that was going fishing for the past 2 days and having a really great time. Unlike this Krasny-Kavkaz, which fell victim to the chain reaction bug. Let's call it bug. I received word that it is indeed not a mechanic but a bug, but Gaijin seems to have some trouble dealing with it, but they tried to do their best. So I hope they managed to do this, because it is really a pain in the butt to fight with this mechanic or this bug being active and just flipping the outcome of a battle like a coin. So it's pure RNG, and I absolutely despise this. And when you are sitting in a German cruiser with a 26,000 civil line repair bill, or you are about to have a really great epic battle and you get denied that great result because of this, that's really bad. But yeah, as it should be, the HMNZS Leander, with all 8 of its main 6-inch guns firing where you aim. Obviously with a little bit of dispersion, like any other ship in the game. But still, you have now twice the effective DPM. And while you are not up there with the Brooklyn and also the Kirov, you can put up a fight against all other ships. And it's a very basic light cruiser. And I think it is not as crazy in terms of balance and power and durability like some of the other ships, like the German light cruisers in the last patch, or like the Kirov with the mine firepower, with the Alpha Strike, or the Brooklyn with also the broadside firepower and the DPM and base use HE and radio flux shells, whatever. It doesn't really matter. This ship has 8 6-inch guns in 4 double turrets. You have 2 shell types. You have an armor-piercing shell, and you have a stock HE shell. You have 8 torpedoes, you have smoke. What else can you ask for? This is as it should be. Because I think that a lot of destroyers, when having the jump on this ship, can deal with it. They can disable the turrets, which are really easy to destroy, unlike on the Brooklyn, for example, or the German light cruisers. And the DPM is not crazy, but it's not like a destroyer could really overwhelm it in a 1 versus 1. You have to know what you're doing on both sides of the spectrum, and I think that's really great. So the next thing is, I wasn't fighting any Kirov, I wasn't fighting any Brooklyn, I wasn't fighting, any other ship that is really, really extremely strong. And I think this is how Gaijin should go in overall experience. It might be slightly boring, but you have no ship that is just the alpha predator and making everything else obsolete, because the community is going like this, that they just will go for this, and then that gets spammed out, and then it's alpha predator versus alpha predator. And the one thing that really suffers is the rest of the players, which then will stop playing, and then you have long queue times and also no diversity, because nobody else is playing anything else but this thing. So I think in this respect, the Leander was a little bit of a surprise for some of my opponents. They didn't know where to shoot. Should they go for my propulsion to just then gun me down because I couldn't maneuver, or should they go for the main batteries? But then I have 4 turrets and not 3 turrets like the Kirov or the German light cruisers. And am I really something they should focus, or am I something that they just can ignore for a while and gun down another threat like another cruiser or destroyer that they know how to deal with? Should they go for the magazine shots for the front or for the rear magazines? How is the armor? How is the survivability? How susceptible am I to the chain reaction bug? So all those questions in mind, they are really, there as a little bit of a surprise. However, when it comes to dealing with these destroyers, when it comes to dealing with other light cruisers, this thing was medium. It was average. It was not really bad. I've seen worse, to be honest. And it's not really outstandingly good. But I think that with my knowledge and my skill that I have, which might be the best that there is or the worst that there is in the game, depends on your point of view. I think I'm decent in ship RB at the moment. In some cases I could still improve, but I think I've got the basics covered. And I think that in this respect, the ship has a final good point. And if you then look at the other 5.3 cruisers, there is a huge amount of diversity. I mean, look at the Americans. Granted, they have the USS Trenton and the USS Raleigh, but they are still great ships. And if you screw up, they can deal with you easily, but you can deal with them as well. It's a fair fight. And Germany currently brings as best cruiser the Emden into the fight, because the Nürnberg and the Köln die really, really quickly. And as good as the Narvik-Zerstörer is, the Type 1936A MOB, it cannot really stand up to your firepower and to your armor, since it is also lacking the AP. And then the Russians, the Krasny Kafkas, you really have to fear those big guns. But you have the DPM, you have the rate of fire, you have the volume of fire as an advantage. You can hurt its armor as well. And those turrets are big, big targets. So to gun down a Krasny Kafkas is always a worthy opponent. The Krasny Krim, also, it's not a walkover. Okay, it is, it's still not bad. It depends on the range, the circumstances, but overall, the Krasny Krim can also put a fight. And then, versus your own kin, there is the HMS Dido, and those 10 guns, they are also pretty disgusting when it comes to a DPM fight. I'm really looking forward to the other nations like France, Italy, and aside from this, obviously Japan, which is, I guess, the most anticipated next nation for ships. You kind of get where this is going, right? So this is as it should be. I didn't fight in this battle the Brooklyns or the Kirovs, which just shit on you. There is no doubt about this. At range, at close range, in a DPM fight, behind an island, they're just simply better than you. And in this battle, while I was partially behind this island, I think, nobody really went behind an island and camped there. It was not really a campfest. It was not really somebody hiding for a very long time. And I also was not really bombed by a plane. And that was also pretty nice. I would love that the trees here are gone. They would be removed, so that I have, so that I can see where my shots are falling. Are they falling short? Are they falling long? And there I was really lucky that I saw the opponents fast enough, and I could open fire here on some of the American destroyer. Now watch this open salvo, where I go through the entire length of the ship and I destroy him. Granted, with an ammo rack explosion, but it also could have been a crew knockout. Next customer is here the Fonse. And yeah, I really had to take him out fast, because Fonse has such good accuracy and such good guns for what they are. You can't ignore it. So now let's talk about the rest of the weekend. And yeah, I didn't play War Thunder too much over the course of the weekend, and instead on Sunday and Saturday and Sunday, I was out there fishing and had a great time. It was very relaxing. The weather was brilliant. But the fish, they were not really hungry. The water is still a bit too cold, but the sun was burning down quite a lot. The water is crystal clear in the river, and it is also very low, so not the best conditions for fishing, to be honest. But let's hope that the water is getting very warm, so that the fish can do their spring stuff. You know what I'm talking about, and then I can catch them. But it was very relaxing. It was fun, and I had a great talk with some of the guys that are experienced fishermen out there, where I learned some very interesting things about the location, where the fish are, what kind of fish there are, and what sizes to be expected. And hopefully in the future I can make some proper fishing videos. But for this weekend, sadly, I have nothing. Yeah, I have some, how should I say? I have some nice footage from, just sitting there and the sun is calmly going down the horizon, but that's not really something exciting. But maybe if you want to see something like this, just look out of the window at the right time of the day. Okay, jokes aside, I really enjoyed it. It was very relaxing, and it was a big change, because usually I'm sitting down also over the course of the weekend playing War Thunder, using the rather short queue times even for ships, and just hoping that I can get some proper footage, making videos on a daily basis. But this weekend I just needed a break. And at the end of the day I had this little fun game. And yeah, that's it. So at the end, nothing more happened. And there is now the end of the battle. So after 9 destroyed enemy players and 4 AI units, I think that I had a great impact on the outcome of the game. It was like 20 minutes long, so the full battle time. And let's see if the results are worthwhile. So I also got the Survivor Award and some other awards, and that obviously then raises the income quite significantly. 57,200 civil lines and 8,000 vehicle research points. That's not the worst of results, and I was second in team, so very nice battle for me at the end of the day, quite literally. And with having said this, that's it for me today. So thanks for watching, thanks for listening. Please give this video a like if you did, subscribe if you want to see more, and we'll see each other on the battlefields, in the skies, and on the waves of War Thunder.